Good evening. Across the country, the iconic blue and yellow Walmart sign is disappearing from towns that depended on it for decades. For many, the closure wasn't just about losing a store. It was losing a community hub and a major employer. Parking lots that once bustled with families now sit empty, leaving behind a sense of shock and uncertainty. In places like Oak Haven, the Walmart Supercenter was the town's largest employer and main source for affordable essentials. Residents gathered outside, mourning the loss of convenience, familiar faces, and the stability the store provided. Many now face long drives to the next affordable grocery store, adding time and expense to their daily lives. This story is repeating nationwide, leaving behind empty buildings and economic voids. These closures aren't random. They're the result of powerful economic forces that have been building for years. The roots of the problem stretch from international trade policy to your local Main Street. Understanding why these doors are closing means looking beyond empty shelves to the global chain of events that led here. For employees, the news was devastating. Years of service and community ties, gone overnight. Now they're searching for new jobs in towns with few opportunities, facing the loss of stability and routine. As we explore this story, we'll hear directly from these workers and communities. Their experiences reveal the real human cost behind the headlines. What's driving these sudden closures? In many cases, it comes down to one word: tariffs. Tariffs are taxes placed on imported goods, recently, especially those from China. The goal was to protect American industries and encourage domestic manufacturing by making imports more expensive. But for retailers like Walmart, which rely on low-cost imports, tariffs created a massive challenge. Walmart's shelves are filled with products made overseas, especially in China. For decades, this global sourcing kept prices low for customers. The new tariffs drove up the cost of importing thousands of products overnight. Suddenly, a bicycle or a set of dishes cost significantly more to bring in. Multiply these increases across millions of items, and the financial pressure on Walmart became enormous. This hidden price tag rippled from shipping docks to your shopping cart. It was a cost that could no longer be ignored. Walmart's promise of always low prices was built on sourcing cheap goods from around the world, especially China. This strategy fueled Walmart's explosive growth and made it a retail giant. But tariffs upended this model, adding sudden, significant costs to imported goods. With razor-thin profit margins, Walmart couldn't absorb these increases. The low-cost formula that worked for decades was broken. The company could no longer rely on ultra-cheap imports to keep prices down. Economic policies from Washington dismantled the core of Walmart's strategy. Now, Walmart faced a challenge that struck at the heart of its identity. With billions in new costs, Walmart faced three tough choices. First, absorb the costs and accept lower profits, a short-term fix that would cripple the company over time. Second, raise prices and risk losing customers who depended on affordability. Third, close stores that could no longer operate profitably. Stores in small towns and low-income areas, already on thin margins, became the most vulnerable. Raising prices wasn't an option for customers who couldn't afford it, and absorbing costs wasn't sustainable. The result: Walmart began a painful mix of absorbing some costs, raising prices on select items, and closing underperforming stores. For communities, these closures felt like a betrayal, leaving behind economic and social disruption. It was a desperate balancing act: save the company by sacrificing parts of it. For many towns, losing Walmart meant losing more than just a store. It meant losing a lifeline. In Fairfield, Alabama, Walmart's closure created a food desert and a crisis for residents. Sarah Jenkins, a retiree, now relies on family for rides to get groceries and medicine. "If my nephew's busy, I don't know what I'll do," she says. For employees like Maria Flores in rural Texas, the job loss is devastating. "This job was my life. Now I'm terrified for the future," she shares. Shoppers like David Chen in Ohio now drive farther and pay more for basics, stretching their budgets thin. "We're cutting back on everything," he says, echoing the frustration of families nationwide. Even small business owners feel the impact. The closure of Walmart means less foot traffic and declining sales for nearby shops. Walmart was an anchor. Now this part of town is a ghost town, says a local hardware store owner. The ripple effects are everywhere: lost jobs, higher costs, and struggling communities. The shutdowns reveal how deeply Walmart was woven into the fabric of American life. For many, its loss is more than economic, it's personal. These stories show the real-world consequences of policy decisions. The pain is felt far beyond the empty parking lot. To understand the economics, we spoke with Dr. Amelia Evans, a trade policy expert. She explains, a tariff is like a tax on imported goods. If a $10 pizza gets a $2.50 tax, the price goes up or profits go down. Walmart's model relied on global supply chains and thin margins. A 25% tariff shatters that model. They can't absorb the cost, so they raise prices or close stores, Dr. Evans says. What about American jobs? Some manufacturers benefit, but retail job losses far outnumber any gains. The policy's impact is complex, helping a few industries while hurting many more. We're losing jobs in one area, hoping to gain them in another, but the math hasn't worked out. Dr. Evans warns, tariffs have reshaped our economy. Price instability and fewer choices will continue as companies struggle to adjust. For Walmart and others, these tough choices aren't going away soon. The effects of trade policy will be felt for years. It's a powerful lesson. Decisions in Washington have real, lasting impacts on daily life. The story isn't just about economics, it's about people, and the consequences are everywhere. When Walmart closes, the impact ripples through the entire community. Hundreds lose their jobs. Cashiers, stockers, managers, leaving families without income. Local businesses suffer as less money circulates in town. Residents lose access to affordable groceries and essentials, sometimes creating food deserts. For those without transportation, getting basic needs becomes a struggle. The empty Walmart building becomes a symbol of decline, often sitting vacant for years. Property values drop, and new investment dries up. Local governments lose crucial tax revenue, forcing cuts to schools and services. The closure triggers a downward spiral, weakening the community's foundation. What was once a vibrant hub becomes a daily reminder of loss. The effects linger long after the doors close. Walmart closures and rising prices have sparked fierce debate in Washington. Supporters of tariffs argue they're needed to fight unfair trade and rebuild American industry, even if it means short-term pain. They see tariffs as economic patriotism, worth the disruption to bring jobs home. Critics, including retailers and farmers, say tariffs hurt American consumers and workers most. They argue tariffs are a direct tax on families and point to Walmart closures as proof. Retaliatory tariffs from other countries have also hurt American exports, especially in agriculture. Opponents call for new trade deals and cooperation, not trade wars. The divide in Washington leaves the future of these policies uncertain. Businesses and consumers are caught in the middle of a high-stakes political battle. The outcome will shape the future of American communities. What does this mean for you? Expect higher, less predictable prices for everyday goods. The era of falling prices is over. Costs are rising across the retail sector. Fewer stores mean less competition and fewer choices, especially in rural areas. Many families must pay more or travel farther for basics. Those on fixed incomes are hit hardest. These changes show how global policies affect your daily life. Tariffs and supply chains aren't just abstract. They shape your budget and community. The Walmart story is a call to pay attention to economic decisions. Who benefits? Who pays the price? Understanding these connections matters. The future of your wallet and your town depends on it.